Hey there, coming at you, whoopsie, live from a classroom. I actually do periodically show up in an actual classroom. And while I was here today, I thought that I would take a few minutes to talk about your upcoming TED Talks speech. And so, what I have to say to you is that TED Talks, but does anyone listen? Hopefully, you will be listening as I go through and talk about the requirement differences between your TED Talks speech as well as the one that you just completed, your Weird News speech. So as you can see up here, instead of being worth 100 points, it's now worth 150 points. And the reason for that is because the length increases. It goes up to a 5 to 6 minute speech. You also need to complete research and have sources. You also have to have a PowerPoint as your visual aid, and the topic, of course, is going to be different. This one is going to be on a TED Talk, which for those of you who are unfamiliar with that is a website that has all kinds of fascinating speeches from leaders in their field right now. So that's what I want to do is I'm going to talk to you about TED Talks, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the research requirements as well as talking about the PowerPoint requirements. So I hope that's helpful. So to find Ted, he's out there. It's kind of like finding Waldo. I would strongly encourage you not to go and have a particular topic in mind. I strongly encourage you to go out onto the website, or as I said, there is also a Facebook page. Strongly encourage you to go out and browse. Just see what's out there. Again, don't go in with any kind of preconceived notion of what topic you want to find. Go out there, see what interests you. As I mentioned, you can go to the website, TED Talks, or there is a Facebook page, and I actually like that, the TED Talks Facebook page. So every day I'm seeing a new one come into onto my Facebook page, and that alerts me to some of them that are coming up. So I encourage you to do that as well. Again, choose an interesting topic. Make sure that it's something that interests you first, so that it will then interest your classmates and myself. And your mission, hoping that you choose to accept it, is that you must find 3 possible topics and then post them on the discussion board and get feedback from your peers. So those are the requirements for taking a look at the topic. Let's take a look at your resources and finding research and having sources. First of all, you are going to have one source that will be your TED Talk, because the speech should be based on the speech that you found. Then the requirement is that you must have at least 3 additional sources from the Hack Library. The sources that you find should really back up, and they should be in support of whatever topic you found on the TED Talk. And this is overall an informative speech, so you want to inform us about that particular topic. Lots of times people get really upset with me because I require the Hack Library, but I do have some reasons for doing that. First of all, you are paying for it, and it costs literally tens of thousands of dollars that the college pays for these databases. So I'm kind of a cheap person. I think we should all get our money's worth, and so truly I want you to get your money's worth. But also I've found that students don't necessarily know what the volume of information that's available there. So I'm going to kind of push you to explore that and find that out. Also, for this class only, anything that comes off the Hack Library databases automatically counts as a scholarly source. I know that might be different from some of your other classes, but I do not require that your sources be peer-reviewed or scholarly. I also strongly encourage you to look beyond Academic Search Premier or EBSCOhost, because there's a lot of other databases that are out there and can potentially help you. In particular, LexisNexis and ProQuest. And that is why, as part of Module 9, you will do the Hack Library quiz. You won't necessarily find the answers. You have to go out and search for the answers on the Hack Library site. So again, sometimes students get frustrated because the answers aren't right there. But there's a method to my madness, and that is that you click around on the site and that you find all of these different resources that you may not have known were available to you. So that's what I'm looking for in terms of resources. We also are required to have you use PowerPoint for this presentation. I'm just sorry, I'm trying to move forward a little bit, and I'm a little bit stopped by my microphone here with the movement I can do today. But let's get back to PowerPoint. If you've ever heard the KISS principle, that is keep it simple, stupid. So the simpler, the better. Oftentimes people try to load up their visual aids with a lot of words and a lot of graphics, and truly that's going to be distracting to your speech. So I have given you an example in my narrated PowerPoints. I also offer you this example that is behind me as I speak, and I would encourage you to use those as examples for how simplified your PowerPoint should be. And this time we are also introducing Panopto, so we're introducing the third and final system. Panopto is really cool because, and you'll see this, when you get the finished product, you'll actually see the video, the PowerPoint slide right next to your face as you're presenting. And that reminds me, I did require that you stand up for the first speech. It's going to be a little bit more challenging because you're going to have to switch slides as you go through the presentation. So if you have to sit for this presentation, I totally get that. But again, show us as much of your torso as possible. Let's not just have this talking head. Okay? So that should tell you about the requirement differences between the Weird News speech and the TED Talk speech. We also talked about what the requirements are for your for the Hack Library sources, as well as from PowerPoint. So I hope that answers your questions that you might have. And once again, I hope that when TED talks, we all listen. Catch you soon.